So I went through a mentally, physically, emotionally, financially abusive relationship. I was with him from 17 up until March of 2020.
Wow. So that's 5 years. And that's an abusive relationship.
Yeah. Absolutely. They don't realize anything at all. And it depends on what type of manipulation that they use. So in my specific instance, they played the charming act. They played the knight in shining armor act. I'm here to help you. He tells me they weren't even friends, that he was faking it.
What? You should have just known straight away. If a man's not loyal to his friends, he can never be loyal to a woman.
No, 100% not. Around about 16, I was diagnosed with severe depression and severe anxiety. It was only when I became 17 and a half, not shortly after I actually met that ex, that they told me that I have borderline personality disorder.
Because a lot of girls think brown boys are all mummy's boys, which...
Oh.
What?
Well, a lot of them are.
Really? Because I don't know, I don't really chat to brown men, so I don't know. But yeah.
But even I've got guy friends, I'm like, you're such a mummy's boy.
You know it is that guy, the one that you like, has his hype. And today's episode's a special one. Today, I have my dear friend, and she's going to introduce her name. Her name's Nikisha, but she's going to do her introduction herself. But today's episode is very important because it highlights the sufferings and the things that women go through. And a lot of times, the things that women don't want to call out and say out because of shame, because of taboo. And yeah, today's episode is going to be a very special one. So I'm going to give you forward and yeah, introduce yourself.
So my name's Nikisha. I'm South Asian female.
Yeah, that's
you know. The reason that I've decided to come on this podcast today is there's a lot of situations that happen within the Asian community that leads to a lot of women, unfortunately, not making it out alive of certain situations.
And you've been a part of certain situations that you've gone through, but you're one of the lucky ones that have come alive and come through it.
So there's actually only 25% of women that come out of these situations alive when they try and leave.
25% of women try leaving and they're the only ones that survive. That's mad. So you're basically
75% of women, when they try and leave, most of the time they end up unalived.
Wow. So we're gonna get into all of this. Growing up, let's start off. So you're Indian.
I'm Gujarati.
Yeah. What area are you from?
I grew up in Northwest.
Guju Central.
Not that kind of Guju Central. I grew up on the other side of Northwest.
Okay.
So more towards Central, that side. Growing up, it was kind of weird because I didn't actually know a lot of Asian families. I didn't really have cousins my exact age either. So growing up, I was actually more mixed within other communities. I think up until I started secondary school, I feel like I was pretty sheltered, but I was still very aware because of everything that was going on. Even the type of media that I consumed. Back then, it was just TV shows, but you learn a lot from it. But I was one of those kids, because I like to read, I knew more than I should.
So you're a nerd.
I was such a nerd.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So your parents?
So my dad's from here.
Okay.
So he was actually born here in that sense. My mom was born back home.
So your dad's like a Guju geezer. So he knows what's about. He understands the culture a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's leave it at he knows.
He knows what's going on.
He knows what's going on.
Okay.
Right? Throughout this whole situation, I realized that my mum and I kind of clash a bit more because she has those very old school family traditional values, which I completely agree with a lot of them. But my mum's one difference was when she got married, she had to move to this country.
From India?
From India.
Okay.
Which meant she didn't get to finish her education. And I guess for me, that's probably one of the reasons why I have always been Niki. Because for me, being nerdy is a way for my family to get out of the situations that they're in.
Like fulfill your mum's incomplete dream.
Exactly.
Yeah, same with me, because my mum couldn't finish her masters, and to be honest, I'm the first person in my household to get a degree. So I get it's like a big thing, especially in the South Asian community, getting a degree, isn't it?
It's like my sister, I wasn't able to do it because of my personal issues at the time. So I have BPD, which we can get onto.
Yeah.
But because of that, I never made it past A-levels. I couldn't actually sit the exams. That was my problem.
Okay. And how many siblings do you have?
It's just me and my little sister.
Okay. And the age difference?
So I am 24.
Yeah.
And then she is 20.
Is there differences in your personalities, would you say, or do you look
Completely different.
Okay.
We're so different, it's unreal.
In what way, if you don't mind me asking?
I guess that's where growing up changed. So everything I went through and the experiences I had, my biggest thing was always to make sure my sister never went through the same thing.
Okay.
So the fact that she's so different, I'm happy because she made it to uni.
Wow.
And she never really
Got exposed to that sort of lifestyle.
like, she was aware because we never mollycoddled her. I find that's never valuable in any sort of relationship, because when you teach them what they need to know, they can handle it and deal with it better. So there were some things that probably you'd say, oh, we wouldn't agree on saying that, but me saying it to my little cousins and my sister meant that they didn't experience the same things.
Yeah, like it normalizes in a way. You kind of
Yeah.
I understand what you're trying to say.
And it gives them this sort of bond where they feel comfortable opening up to you about their issues. And now they know no matter what, they can come to me with any problem and I'm going to be there.
So now talking about problems, for all the viewers watching right now, before we get into great depths of what's happened,
Yes.
if you just give us a little sort of insight to what is it that you've been through, and then we're going to sort of retract, sort of go through your whole life slowly by slow, like certain sections. So tell us, what is it that you went through?
So I went through a mentally, physically, emotionally, financially abusive relationship. I was with him from 17 up until March of 2024.
Wow.
So that would have been 2019.
So you...
Beginning of 2019 to the end of March 2024.
Wow. So that's 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. And that's an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
When did you realize? Because I feel like a lot of times, people that are in abusive relationships, they don't even realize they're in an abusive relationship.
Absolutely. They don't realize anything at all. And it depends on what type of manipulation that they use. So in my specific instance, they played the charming act.
Okay.
They played the knight in shining armor act. I'm here to help you. Ironically, I actually met him through an ex. Now, that should have been my first red flag. So that should have been my first
We're
red
gonna
flag.
retract this statement because this is fun. So before we get into this, I want to know something. So before you said the knight in shining armor, so prior to meeting your abusive ex, were you going through certain situations and certain problems already?
So around about 16, I was diagnosed with severe depression and severe anxiety. It was only when I became 17 and a half, not shortly after I actually met that ex, that they told me that I have borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
So in simple terms, that's like not having the emotional range to understand things from an emotional aspect. So it can go from 0 to 100.
Like, give me an example.
Okay, so you've got a spoon on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, you've dropped this spoon. And
Okay.
this is the same spoon that you really wanted to eat with. A normal person's reaction might show that they're upset about something. And when I say normal, I mean
Like you're talking...
divergent.
Yeah.
They might turn around and be like, oh, the spoon's dropped. Oh, I kind of wanted to eat with that spoon. Oh, I can just wash it.
Yeah.
Or I can go get another spoon.
Yeah.
In my brain, this would mean I would be so upset, but because I can't feel emotions on a scale, I either feel everything at once or nothing. So every emotion I experience is intense, whether that's shame, guilt, happiness, joy, anger. All of that is just felt at level 100.
Why do you think this... I would call it a bit in a way extremism. So if you're happy, you feel really happy. If you're upset, you're really upset, right?
Yes.
So why do you think this extremism sort of started? Is it because of your childhood, like growing up?
Yep.
So if you want to, because I always say every action has a reaction.
100%.
So I want to understand, for you to have borderline personality disorder, let's just go back from before you were 16. What happened? What was certain situations that sort of impacted you to become the way you are? So let's talk about you growing up from a young age. Talk to me about that.
I grew up in a massive family.
Okay.
Growing up, I just had all my cousins around me all the time. We had all the family over all the time, and my house was full. So I lived with me. It's me, my sister, my parents, grandparents, and at the time my great grandma as well.
Okay.
So we had 4 generations under one house.
Okay.
And my auntie was still there as well. So it was like constantly packed and busy, which was great.
How many people in one house?
There was 8 of us.
Rah! They took the Star Plus. I'm telling you, the family drama a bit too seriously down there, but okay.
So family drama, that's a whole different topic.
Oh, okay.
But no, jokes aside, literally, that was entire section of things was just great.
Okay.
And there were problems at home. There were still problems at school because I was being bullied from a young age.
So you used to get bullied at school?
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that. But talk to me about home first.
I realised that now as I'm older, the things that I saw as a child wouldn't normally necessarily be deemed okay. And this is just my opinion on the way we speak to each other as South Asians. We don't exactly have the best tone or be the most respectful, and it can happen at times. And then you have times that they're really respectful.
Yeah.
But the difference is, as a woman in that environment, if you grow up from a background where you're not supposed to say anything, it can get you in trouble. I've never been like that. So I've always kind of just said whatever comes to my mouth.
Okay.
It's definitely got me in trouble. But where was I going with this? See, now I lost my thing.
No, you said certain things that you're not meant to see growing up.
Growing up, right.
Like what?
So by that, I mean like arguments. You know, the fights, the conversations about wealth or what's going on with the finances, the relationships between different family members. Growing up, you hear things. And especially because I had no cousins my age, and it was either like I felt like I was babysitting the kids or I was stuck with the adults. So I guess from that age, because I was more exposed to sort of mindsets, I was more grown and I wanted to always learn and find out new things. So I kind of fell in love with education because it was my mum's ambition as well. And she couldn't finish it. So I kind of wanted to be the one to go to uni. I wanted to find something I can do for myself and make a name for myself. Start building generational wealth. Anyways, all of this happened. And then there'll be arguments at home. But while there's arguments going on at home, just because it was such a massive family, I was still being bullied at school.
Wow, we're going to get into this because, funny enough, being bullied at school, I feel like it kind of shapes the human or the adult you turn out to be. So you said you got bullied at school.
Yeah.
I want to know, when you mean by bullied, could you explain what you mean? Like, can you tell me?
So I remember in primary school, there was this one girl, she liked my hair. And she would always pull at it.
Pull at it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't realise initially what it was. And over time, when I'd explained, like, stop, I don't like it. Oh, stop, that hurt. And you've continued to do it. I knew that this person just didn't like me, but I was so shy that I didn't know how to say anything or what to say. Because the time I spent quite a lot alone. I would be at home with family or I'm at school. But now both places were just places I didn't want to be.
Shit. And did you ever tell your family that you were getting bullied at school?
You know, the one question they always ask me is, why didn't you ever say anything? I think the honest reason is because I didn't want to hurt them. And I think part of me felt like I could just handle it and get through it. And I used my education as that reason.
And this was primary school, but then also secondary.
And secondary school, similar things happened.
Did it get worse?
I think there was a brief period of time where it did.
What happened?
That's when the words, the things that I said to you, they start to build and shape who you are, how you view the world. I remember one time, growing up, obviously being South Asian female, you're hairy, right? So you have to go and get that removed. But your parents will be like, oh, you're too young, you can't start that just yet. So I was growing like peach fuzz. And
what's that, sorry?
Peach fuzz. Okay, so it's when you start growing a moustache on your top upper lip before you start getting it threaded.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this kid used to call me Hitler because of it.
And that really...
And I was a tiny, like, when I say I was small, I don't think I was even taller than 1 meter. I was very small. Like, everyone was just bigger than me. I'd never been fighting. I'd never, I just kept myself to myself. That happened for a while. Then it was the arguments with females. Growing up, you're still all learning how you are as a person. And it's difficult, especially with being around a bunch of females that are all completely different. And I feel like when you start in year 7, because everyone's just getting to know each other, everyone's friendly to everyone. After that, they become a bit more horrible.
I had a similar thing. I used to get called smelly because my mum bought me a Jay-Z sort of type looking jacket, and everyone would start doing this. And literally, I remember I don't think I've said this, but it kind of started getting me annoyed, like my anger, because it kind of just puts like a self-doubt in yourself. You're like, raw, like, is that really me? And now I'm looking at him like, raw, but I know what you're trying to say, because you even being called Hitler at a certain age. Like, how old were you when they were calling you that?
It was like 10, 11.
Yes, that's a crazy way of living. Like, it mentally impacts you, doesn't it? Self-esteem.
My self-esteem was a massive issue for such a long time. Like, to the point where even now, today, someone could tell me I'm beautiful and I still don't believe it.
Really?
I will sit there and question it in the back of my own head.
Wow. Even until this day?
To this day. I'm 24 years old. And I think the difference between when I was younger and when I'm older now is I've learnt to have value and worth within myself. And if that's not taught to you, which I don't think South Asian communities teach their children, you're kind of brought up to be raised for the family. You have roles, responsibilities, things that you have to do in order to maintain your reputation.
Which I personally don't think is wrong all the time.
It's the extent.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think everything has a limit.
Everything has a limit, but not just that. You can show two truths at the same time
100%.
Because they can both coexist.
100%. Like my dad, I'm gonna be really honest with you. My dad I think until 2 years ago, he thought mental health was fake. He said, "What's mental health?" Because I think also what it is as well is that a lot of, especially South Asian, Indian, I would say, Pakistani, come from back home, especially like your mum, they're so busy, caught up living their own life. They live in like a joint family. They're working. That mental health, anxiety, stress, depression is normalized so much that they don't address it as an actual problem. For them, the only illness or the only disease is something they can see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I completely understand what you're trying to say there.
And it's ironic that you said it's something that you can see. So, between all of that bullying, I got to a state where I felt like nobody could see my pain. I couldn't express it verbally. I couldn't say anything. So I think that's when everything really started to be a problem for me.
Explain.
Okay. I've never said this out loud before.
That's alright. Take your time. You're brave for doing this already.
School was horrible.
Yeah.
Home was horrible.
Yeah.
No escape.
Yeah.
My answer was to go into my books. So I loved reading.
Yeah.
And there was a point in time where that slowly stopped working.
Wow.
And I feel like as you get older, your imagination sort of dies.
Yeah.
And it was around about that time, I'd say maybe 8, 9 years old, that I wanted everybody to see that I was in pain. But because I grew up in a South Asian family, it's normalized that you don't talk about your problems. You don't say anything. I feel like because I had no way to show it, and knowing my mum was from back home, mental health isn't real, all of those sorts of things, I went about my own way to seeing it. If I could physically see it, then that meant it was real. So I started off with scratching. So I used to scratch my arm when I was younger.
How old were you when you were scratching your arm?
I was 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
Because that was when I was being bullied.
Wow,
From that
okay.
age, from such a young age. And it'd been going on for a while at this point. Be random times or random things. And I don't even think it was necessarily intentional, because at that age, I think children just say things. I don't think they're innately trying to be horrible unless they're taught what's okay and what's not.
Yeah.
So I began, what I didn't know at the time was self-harming.
At 9 years old.
Yeah. Because I didn't know hitting things, scratching yourself, overly biting your nails. That's all forms of self-harm.
Yeah, it starts off, isn't it?
It's just a starting point.
Mm.
You're using it as a coping mechanism, and it's maladaptive. You're not going to benefit from it. And you will feel like you do for that temporary satisfaction. I think by the time I was 12, because the bullying had continued into high school, I started doing self-harm in a different manner. I started cutting myself.
With what?
First, I realised because I was scratching so much and it was getting worse, I'd actually pierced through my skin. And seeing the blood was almost calming to me. My pain was now real.
You were feeling a sense of solemn peace with blood.
More the act and the fact that my pain is real. It can be seen now.
Wow. That's crazy. And you were doing this, what, at home?
Anywhere. And I didn't realise what I was doing. It's like, I couldn't even understand what was going on until the incident had finished. I didn't even know what it was called. So, in my high school, I had this one friend. She grabbed my arm too hard one time.
Yeah.
And I thank her so much, because she's one of the biggest reasons my life was able to even start a process of change. She grabbed my arm too hard. We're walking out now, and she...
Take your time, it's alright. It's alright.
She grabbed my arm, and I must have yanked it away, like, really quickly. And she was wondering, like, you know, why have you done that? Like, that's weird. She tried and grab my arm again, like, to come and get me to come with her. And that's when I've completely flinched, because they were still fresh. She's ended up seeing it and told the school.
It's good though. She saved your life.
She did. At the time, I hated her though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because it was something I was using to cope. So that was now going to be taken away from me because someone else has done something. And in the long term, it's for my benefit. But in that moment, you don't see it.
So when you were self-harming,
Yeah.
you were cutting yourself.
Yep. I used to cut, burn. I think there was a couple incidents where I'd taken like something, object or something, and been bashing it into myself. Like my leg or my arm. Something so I can feel. It was a sensory thing. And now my pain's real, right? Now I can handle it. I can deal with it. I wait for it to heal. And now in my head, it was like that problem's now gone.
How often were you self-harming?
I think when I was younger, it wasn't so bad. I think high school is where it started to get worse. Because nothing was getting better. You're getting older. You're more aware of things. You're growing up, becoming who you are as a person. But I didn't even really feel like I had that chance. I felt like I was an outsider everywhere. Because I was so shy. I seemed like I was not shy. Everyone when they meet me, they're like, no, you can't be shy. Like, that doesn't make sense. I can't talk to people. I struggle. Even coming here today, for example, how many times do we have to try and arrange this for me to finally get here?
Yeah, a lot. It's alright though. It's fine.
And younger I was, it was shorter. The older I got, it was much better. Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's mad, but yeah, I know what you're trying to say. It's a sensitive topic, but I like how you're making it lighthearted. But when you were doing it in high school...
So when I started doing it in high school, because the problems started to get worse, you now have the pressure of growing up, becoming your person, knowing what you want in the future. I knew my family situation. I knew that I wanted to move out.
Okay.
Now, I love my family, but because of the things that I go through in my own head, I realized being around people too much, I fully can't function. I need more alone time, rest time. Not too much, because that's unhealthy. I was also in the depths of focusing on all the things that had been said to me, all the horrible things that were going on. It's called rumination.
Oh yeah, rumination, yes.
Right.
When you keep going over the same thing.
Same thing, over and over. And then you find out all the other different ideas or concepts or things that have gone to it. But in this instance, everything was negative. School was horrible because I was being bullied. Home was horrible just because I couldn't handle the arguments. I didn't even understand. Like, some of them were so stupid. But even the tone that they were saying, the tone sets me off. So, after that, it increased. It increased a lot more. And I think the peak I reached was when I was in my relationship with my ex. So, the self-harm at that point was probably the worst.
When you mean the worst, what do you mean?
For a long time, because I kept feeling like this, I never saw myself past 16.
You never saw yourself living past 16?
No. I didn't want to be here.
You didn't want to be here?
I didn't want to be here.
So, why? Was it really that bad? Was life really that bad for you?
I saw no escape anymore. My books didn't help. The things that I loved, nothing helped. It was almost like the joy of life had been sucked out.
This is before your relationship?
This is before my relationship.
Just by yourself?
Just by myself. Because I was being bullied at school. I couldn't come home. I didn't have that safe space.
You know when you said you were cutting yourself?
Yeah.
So you were cutting yourself in high school. Would you be cutting yourself in school as well?
I think there was a couple times I did do it in school, actually.
But did you used to do it more in your house, in the bedroom, not by yourself?
It would be at any point I was ruminating. There was a time in high school where I had no friends. I can't remember why. I think I'd had an argument with the girls I were friends with. And, by that point, it got a bit cliquey. So you wouldn't really go and chill with other people.
Yeah.
So I just went and sat by myself. But because it went over a long, prolonged time, that's where I struggled. Because there's no escape. So now, again, the bad things. That's all that's stuck in your head. It's a mindset change, but it's something you're taught. If you were never taught either way, you're not going to know. And that just isn't taught in South Asian communities. Most people won't recognize that their children have emotions or feelings or things like that. Even especially Asian men as well. I feel like they have this tendency to be like, oh, but I'm just supposed to. I'm the son. It makes no sense. You're still a child. And it's not their fault. Because that's how they were raised. It's been raised like that for years and years and years. But over time, what's happened like that is it's hardened it into the community that you're just supposed to get on with things when things aren't okay.
Not address it, not talk about it.
Not address it, not talk about it. Brush it under the carpet. And then when people do talk out, they're often hated on.
Or shamed upon.
Shamed. Misrepresented. It could be me showing this, for example. Even the fact that I had a boyfriend. Now it's going to become a whole topic and situation and issue. Maybe not within our community, but like our generation. But when it comes to your own community that you're from as a South Asian, it's going to be talk.
Oh yeah, I'll be real. South Asians hate on South Asians the most. I have to say that.
They do.
100%.
People don't talk about it enough.
100%. The thing is, when I'm talking to you right now, just keep staring at your arm. Is that the arm?
Yeah.
And did you do it on that? Is that the arm that you used to do it on?
Yeah, I had a thing. I don't know why, but I couldn't do it on the other arm. I had to do it only on one side. And because I was left-handed, it happened to be this side. And then they had to all be like parallel to each other.
Yeah, I can see there's like a certain pattern.
Yeah.
Is that all done with a razor?
Yeah. Razor.
Just lift it up for a second, please. Show us. That's mental. And that you're telling me when you started self-harming, did your parents never clock when you used to be chilling at the house? Like maybe you'd see some scabs. Did you used to cover it up?
I think I would even wear hoodies in all the way to summer. I was such a tomboy. I would wear, it could have been 30 degrees. I was happy sitting in my hoodie. I'd become so accustomed to it just from such a young age because it was my comfort. I was hidden. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like anything about myself anymore. Just from those small things people used to say, whether that's, one of the biggest compliments I actually get to this day that absolutely irates me. Like, it irks my soul.
What?
You're pretty for an Indian, though.
Oh, no. Oh, I hate that. Oh.
It makes me so mad.
Oh, I get that all the time. You're really good looking for an Asian man. Oh.
Like, it's some backhanded compliment.
Oh.
What, so people of my race are not beautiful?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. I get that all the time too. Well, I don't get that because a lot of people, will be like, "You're not Asian. Asians don't look like you." So, you're going through all of this. Your parents at this time, you're not telling them anything. They don't know nothing at this time.
No, they had their own problems going on. I don't feel the need to put that on anybody else.
But were you not like scared, like cutting yourself, especially the amount of time you've done it?
Okay, so this will kind of make some weird sense, I guess.
Okay.
So prior to me realizing that, medicine in the UK just is not it.
Yeah.
And working for the NHS is not it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I actually wanted to be a cardiothoracic pediatric surgeon.
Rah! That's a mad name. That's a mad name. All right, a long name. Go on.
Okay, so what it means is specifically to do with children, and it was when you perform surgery on the heart and the lungs, the thorax region. So I wanted to do that because when I was born, I was actually born with a murmur in my heart.
Oh, wow.
A funny story was this all began because my mom wanted to be a doctor. My sister, I got to name her, and I named her after a TV character on a show, and it was one of those dramas, right? Those Indian dramas. And my mom and my family would turn around and basically say, "Oh, she's going to be a doctor because you named her after that character." Yeah. But I liked science. I liked learning. I was a geek. I told you it was my escape.
Were you good at school? Were you smart at school?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I think it changed when my anxiety fully set in. It wasn't that I wasn't smart and I couldn't comprehend the information given to me.
Your mind just wasn't focused on...
I couldn't focus. So I could sit in that lesson and it was like I wasn't even there.
Do you think other people's opinions really got to you at that time? Is that where it was?
100%. If you're hearing it from every single angle, there's a point of view that's going to break. There's only so much one child can take.
100%.
I feel like as an adult, you have more understanding, empathy. You're more able to recognize that the people around you are different and people work in different ways. When you're a child, you don't necessarily get that.
Why were you bullied? Because of your looks?
Because of my looks. Because I was Indian. Because I had hair.
Was there not a lot of Indians where you were going to school?
There was actually a couple of Indians. In my primary school, there's only one other Indian boy. Yeah. But that didn't really bother me because I feel like more when I was younger, you'd mix more. Especially if you didn't have loads of people with your own ethnicity, you become friends with more different types of people. And I'm so grateful for that because it's allowed me to appreciate other people's culture and learn new things. And I think that's what kind of set me off in the wanting to learn. Yeah, so they weren't the same race as me, but I didn't feel a difference in that.
So in high school, what was it that really made the bullying really bad?
High school?
Yeah.
This is complicated for me to say because it's not going to be taken lightly. And my dad always says it to me and I've refused to agree and admit it to him. But social media can be such a bad thing. Like, that changed the game of bullying. Before, at least I could go home and escape it. Because I had my books. That's what I was focused on. When social media came in, a lot of people don't even read anymore.
No, yeah.
Right? Our
Yeah.
attention spans are shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Even TikTok, for example, right? The snippets were so short that people were just losing the ability to have the same attention span. Now they've made it longer, people now watch longer form content again. So it's all based on what we're being fed and taught at the time, and it's how you take it, but what influences that you're given.
Would you say now, obviously looking back, do you understand why you were bullied as a child? Like, I understand why people didn't like me growing up, because I was loud. Now, if you had to, from a distance, separate yourself from now to the younger version in high school, what would you say it was, looking from an outside perspective?
I think because at home things were so bad, I think I put on more of a happy face on. So I was just excessively bubbly and like just out there.
At school?
At school.
So you were...
Because that was my happy place.
So you were a bit like me in a way at school. And that pissed people off, didn't it?
Yeah. And plus add the fact that like I was intelligent. I did get good grades. I liked to do those things. So when other people aren't doing as well at that age, it can become hard.
They were haters.
Yeah.
People were just hating.
Now, it's not even the irony of it is it's not like I was even the smartest kid in the class. I wasn't. There were people smarter than me. And I feel like maybe it's more because I was an easy target. I didn't really...
Fight back.
I didn't know how to. Because you're not taught to.
So like if you got violent...
As a woman in a South Asian community, you're not taught to fight back. Especially at that age, it will be, yeah, but you're a child, don't speak.
So it was like... Now, I remember the first time we met, we had a little conversational thing going on. Yeah. But you weren't like that when you were in high school?
No, never. Sixth forms when that happened. Because that was my new start. That was my chance to never let anybody treat me like that again.
I get that. I think that's the same thing with me. I think that's why I am the way I am. Because you get shaped because you've been disrespected.
I'm never letting you disrespect me again. God forbid.
Yeah.
That's crazy work. You could say the smallest thing and I probably won't let it slide.
No.
And most people are like, but that's so minor. Why are you allowing it? I'm like, it just builds to a bigger problem.
I get you. Yeah.
So I'd rather just say the truth as it is.
And I think
people don't like that. People want to hear sugar-coated lies.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, social media is a very good demonstration of this. People can't handle the truth. People generally can't. They want everything.
They want the truth.
Yeah, but they can't handle it. They can't handle it. And the thing is, they don't want to hear what's actually needs to be said. They want to hear what they want to hear. Like, on social media sometimes I say some controversial things which objectively a lot of people know that what I'm saying is correct. But they don't want to hear what I'm saying because the truth is always better. As I always say, the truth is always better. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of South Asian guys or girls watching this saying, oh, we're not like this. But the truth is, you're right. In the South Asian community, the addressing of mental health, the addressing of not talking enough.
I think it's better getting that.
It's getting better.
It's getting better now.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like it's our generation that's changing that. 100%. We want to break the generational curses in our family. And the reason I say it like that is people now want to break generational curses. So all that trauma, generational trauma, everything that's been passed down the way South Asians have built and become themselves is something we're taught, right? We probably weren't like this at the start. If you take away the colonization, right, and say we was a country just by ourselves, the only problems we would have had is amongst ourselves. But that's the thing. The South Asian community doesn't really care what other people think. It's about what their community think.
That's true. Loki Gange.
Gange.
That's it. So now you're going through a lot of high school. You're cutting yourself. When did this ex appear?
So it was after a few months I'd become 17. I was actually dating this guy.
So this is not your ex?
This is not my ex.
Okay.
Right. And this guy, we wasn't even together for long. Like, I realized very quickly you're not the person for me. Right.
How old was this person?
They were the same age as me.
So you both were 17?
Yeah. So
okay.
we were both young. So you're still learning, like, probably who they are now. They're probably a much better person. But at the time, we just did not work. And so I was like, fine. After that, he's introduced me to one of his friends.
Wait, what do you mean he's introduced you to one of his friends?
Now, this was just over the phone. And he must have been like, oh, put my friend on. You know, you've got really pretty friends, whatever. He wants to find someone, whatever. I was like, cool. Like, okay.
Wait. So you're chatting to a guy.
It was like, you know, when they like to do Rishta matchmaking.
So wait. So you're chatting to a guy.
Okay, let's call one guy A and call the other one B.
Cool.
A is the one
that you're chatting to.
I'm speaking to.
Okay.
Right? B is his friend.
Okay.
Now, he's chilling with this person all the time. So there's a couple of times like I'd call and you're with that person. So it'd be like basic conversations. So over time, you get to know the person a bit. And every time they're nice. And you're literally just cool with the way things are. Yeah. He then says to me, and this is my partner at the time. A says to me, oh, my boy wants to, you know, look for someone. I was like, ironically at the time, one of my friends had just become single, but because prior to that, all my friends were in relationships that they've been in for years. I put him on to someone else. I put B on to someone else, in the sense that I was like I'm not speaking to you. Like, you're my partner's friend. It makes no difference to me what you do. If my friend likes you, then you two can figure it out together. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
Yeah. Normal, standard.
So cool. I've passed it on, and they were like, oh yeah, send it to me. I was like, cool, I'll just share the snap or whatever, right? So he's added me on Snap. This whole time now, while I'm still together with this person.
With
A. The only communication we ever had was about either put me on, or if my person at the time, partner A, I needed to get through to him, or he was being really shit, right? So it was like, you need to speak to your friend.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those, because like I said, after 16 I became a bit more feisty. It was, you speak to your friend right now, because I'm not doing this. Or I know he's with you, pass him the phone.
Oh yeah. Like I get what you mean, like he's like contact.
Just basic contact, basic respect.
Yeah.
And the way it continually was being disrespected, I think by the time I was with partner B, that played an impact in itself. I think if I never went through that small experience then, I never would have fell for what I fell for.
So when you mean by, let's go a bit back. So you with A.
Yeah.
When did you get with, like, how did that B sort of start? Because obviously that's his brethren, so that's a bit like...
Yeah.
That's a bit mad, isn't it?
So most of the time, for me, if you're somebody that I've been with, your friends are off limits.
Yeah.
That's just standard, because I wouldn't want you to be with one of my friends. I'd feel a type of way.
Yeah.
Except the difference was this person had punched me in my stomach.
Who?
Partner
A. Your first ex punched you in the stomach?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And after that, I was done. I walked away.
And how long were you with partner A for?
Like 3 months.
Oh, okay. So
it was like, for you to even think you could even push me. Like, my self-respect at that point, because of everything I've been through and rebuilt myself, was literally, you could call me a name that I find disrespectful and I'll be like, goodbye. I don't need this energy in my life, because I worked so hard to even just still make it past 16, and I finally saw my life turning around. I got myself into A-levels. I was looking at my uni applications. I was still trying to study. So all those things, I was doing what I wanted as a person. My goals were coming into play, and he just completely messed with it. Because after that, he already knew I had other issues, like my family stuff going on, or stuff at school. He knew all of this. So for you to treat me worse on top, I was like, nah, goodbye. Never speaking to you again.
Cool. Partner is gone.
Done.
Cool.
But that's not so easy, is it?
No.
Because you care about an individual. Yes, because somebody disrespects you doesn't mean that the care stops.
Yeah.
So from time to time, he still call me.
Who? Partner A?
Partner A.
Okay.
But also at the same time, somehow managed to find out where I was, who I was with, somehow. And I get private phone calls.
Ooh. Those are the worst.
And the problem is, I don't mind answering a private phone call. Like, if I've blocked you or whatever and you've tried to get out in contact, you've called me, I'll have that conversation. I'll say, look, I don't want to have contact, whatever. But when it became a situation where I was like, I have left you, I don't want anything to do with you because of what you did. It's not like we had a disagreement. It's not like, oh, it was just an allegation of cheating or something like that. You've put hands on me. You've disrespected me as an individual, as a human.
Wow.
And it feels degrading to the point where I didn't tell any of my friends.
Yeah, because of course.
Because you don't want people to know that someone's done that to you. Not somebody that you were showing care and love to. That's not right. If you're sitting there putting your all into someone, they're supposed to put it back into you.
100%. Reciprocation, always.
And my thing is, I always wanted to get married and have kids. Because that was part of my aspirations. I was like, okay, if I can achieve these things, these are the things I never thought I'd be able to see. Because I didn't see it past 16. So when I made it past that, and I was doing the things I was supposed to, I started to set myself little goals.
That's good.
And I was still always in my own head. And it was hard enough as it was. But then to have a partner that's bringing you down on top rather than uplifting you is what makes the difference.
So then I want to know, how did partner B enter?
So
Partner B was partner A's friend.
I experienced a time with my mental health where I suffered psychosis. Right? So I thought I was seeing something. Now, when I thought I was seeing these things, I genuinely believed they were real. I looked at it and thought, that's there. I'm speaking to something real. And people around me would be confused. And it's scary. Because you don't understand, and people don't understand that you're still seeing it. So this whole thing happened, and my partner A knew about it. I was getting phone calls from him basically saying all the crazy stuff, like, yeah, I know where you are, all of that stuff. Oh, you're cheating on me, but I'm not even with you. I'm cheating because I've gone to a party with my friends at their house.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm literally just with my friends. It's literally my friend's house party. If we were normal, you would have just come. Like, it wouldn't have been a thing. You know the people that are going there. But then to go to the extent of looking at their stories or what they post and finding out where you are, and then you become a bit more wary.
Like the guy from You and that, the stalker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know, that's so funny.
Joe.
Do you know why Joe is so funny to me? And I love Joe.
Why?
Because Joe helped me get out.
Really?
I watched that series with partner B. I made him sit there and watch what he done to me.
What partner B did to you?
Yep.
So how did partner B enter initially though?
So with the psychosis situation, right? We're on the phone now. I get a phone call from him. He's saying, talk to me about it. Like, tell me what happened.
With partner A?
Partner A. And I was like, but you know. Why are you asking me? He's like, oh no, I think I saw something on YouTube that's going to help you out. Or whatever.
So is this partner B, by the way?
This is partner A.
Oh, still partner A.
And partner A, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll like just low-key go over it to remind you. Anyway, the phone call cut not long after that. Partner B, at the time, said that he took the phone off of him and hung up the call. And then he called me. I was like, why are you calling me? He says, just don't answer his phone call. And I was like, why? Like, cool. Didn't really care. Partner B turned off the phone. He's now called me. And I'm like, all right, cool. What's up? What's going on? Why are you calling me? Like, I've never given you my number. Why are you calling me on my number? I was even more confused. He says to me that my ex-partner now, from that moment forwards, he had put me on loud in front of everybody at college, taking the piss out of my mental health. Basically laughing at the fact that I had psychosis. Now, forget the relationship. I didn't care. I didn't care we broke up. I didn't care about any of that. The fact that I trusted someone with something that I held so dear to me because it was something that I was trying to overcome. And you just shit all over it. You genuinely just think, I'm going to take the absolute piss out of someone's mental health. That's what I didn't understand, because it's supposed to be somebody that you think loves you.
So he told you that his friend at the time was taking a piss out of you.
Yep.
And then?
So I was upset, and he was like, I automatically started crying. So he was like, oh, don't cry. Knight in shining armor acts, you know, charming.
Oh, he did the whole, I hate, that's the typical brown boy thing. This is what I need.
But
all brown boys do that. Try to do that, man. Not me, though. I don't do that. I'm straight. I'm on it.
No, but the problem with that was I kept saying to you, like, you're his friend, you know? And then if he hadn't got the message, I would have just, like, had to block him or something, you know? I didn't met you in real life or whatever. We're chilling now. And he'd call me from time to time to check up on me. Bear in mind, he'd ask me for advice about other women, right? So you know that's not that type of relationship where you're looking at each other in any type of way. You were like my friend. I just appreciated what you've done because I had guy friends at the time anyway. So to me, it was just like another friend. Okay, cool. Thank you, because I appreciate what you've done. And, you know, he then turns around and tells me that everything with my ex is just fake. Paying attention to the small things. And when you're just friends with someone, they tell you more about themselves. You open up more because you don't feel the need to hide anything.
Yeah.
You're being the most authentic version of yourself with a friend.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually prefer to become friends with someone first before I'd ever take anything anywhere else. Because you know who they are. They've shown you. Now all you have to do is believe it. So we'd call back and forth as friends, whatever. Then one day he goes to me, oh, you don't sound so well, which I wasn't. Do you want to link up? You know, you really sound like you need to speak to someone. I was like, cool. I said no so many times and I just gave in. I said, you know what, sorry, what's the worst can happen? Like, we're cool. And my only fear was the fact that they were friends. But my fear for that was because I didn't want to get between his friendships. Like, although partner A disrespected me, I didn't want any involvement in that. He tells me they weren't even friends, that he was faking it.
What?
And he tells me that, he goes, oh, it's only because he was another Upner.
Oh, I hate guys. Oh yeah, carry on. You should have just known straight away. If a man's not loyal to his friends, he can never be loyal to a woman.
No, 100% not. But it wasn't even the loyalty. He said that he felt sorry for him, and because that person had moved into that area, it was North London. So you moved into North London, you moved into an area that's not so great. He just felt, oh, you know, he's up now, I'll try and look after him, you know, salvation, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, right? Done that. Now you're telling me, you know, you just felt sorry. Okay, so you're not really friends. He's like, no, I don't actually talk to him. He kind of just follows me. And I'm like, I allow it because he's thing. So he's now spun
the narrative. So he's trying to do his thing now. He's like, yeah.
And you're sitting there like, when you're on the receiving end of it at such a young age, you're not thinking of it like that.
Was he older than you?
He was only 6 months older than me.
Oh.
But you're not thinking of it like that. I'm looking at it like, so I was 17 at the time, right? I'm not looking at it like you've got some sort of malicious intent behind anything. I thought you're just being a nice person. You know, if I saw someone going through something, I'm going to want to stop them. But I didn't understand that not everyone's like you. Not everyone has the same heart as you. And the only thing you can do, and I can't remember where I saw it, but there was this video on socials that said, the only thing you can do is trust people to be people. And ever since I've accepted that, what people do doesn't bother me.
Acceptance is a very big thing. Even me, like, about other people's opinions. Whatever anybody's going to think, you can't stop them from thinking that. You need to just let them be. And that's why I always say, like, people are going to do what they want to do. So there's no point of you stressing yourself out because of other people.
Only control what is in your control.
Well, exactly. I'm a big believer of that as well, 100%. So yeah, partner B.
Now we've met up and he's flipped the script now. And he kissed me.
Oh.
By the end of this whole meetup.
Consensually?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're feeling him as well?
No, because I didn't have any issue with him.
Okay.
But the vibe changed when you meet somebody in person. I'd never met him before, nothing. So now it was like my ex wasn't even in the picture. You've been nice to me. You're kind. You know, you're doing the exact opposite of what I felt like my partner had just done to me.
Yeah.
not realizing it was the same honey trap.
Wow.
Because people can fake who they are for a while.
oh,
Because
hon.
after about 3 months, they start showing you their true colors.
I always say that. A lot of guys do that. They're fake.
And then they complain that the relationship doesn't work, or that it's not working with this female's the issue. But realistically, let's look at the fact that you lied to her about who you were in order for her to say yes.
And then?
So he then started feeding me this narrative that my ex was saying all these horrible things about me. Like, you're a hoe, you're this, you're that. And I'm sitting there like, but I haven't even done anything crazy. Like, I don't understand. In my head, like, what have I done? Are you just angry because I was with someone before you? But I haven't even been with them for that long. I got rid of them because they disrespected me. So he'd accuse me of things. Partner B. But he was doing it in a friendly way. He would say to me that partner A is the one saying these things.
But it was actually him.
Because they went to the same college.
Okay.
So even after we left, they were still going to school together.
Okay.
So now I'm sitting there and I'm just getting more emotional and upset. And then he would say things like, oh yeah, but you should know that it's not like that. Don't listen to what people say. But you're the one feeding me the information.
I get it.
But at the time, you don't see it like that.
It's like when someone, for example, comes up to me and I had that boxing fight and I lost. Oh, bro, you know they're chatting shit about you in the gym. No one's chatting shit about me in the gym, but he just putting that in my head to feed you, to make you feel shit about yourself. I get it.
And it gets into your head. So then he was able to play knight in shining armor because he's fixing the problem again, right?
So he's making problems himself and fixing them himself. Oh, wow.
Because now you're reliant on him to fix it.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's created it. He's now fixed it. So it's like, oh, well, it was a problem for a little bit, but now you've made me feel better, so it's fine. Small highs and lows. And the whole reason that people suffer with addiction is it's highs and lows, right? So this was the same sort of thing like an addiction, except it's an emotional warfare. You're playing and messing with someone's emotions thinking it's okay.
Partner A is gone, but partner B's chatting shit all along. He's basically saying, partner A saying this, saying that, but at this point...
Partner A wasn't even in the picture. I had no contact with him, nothing. I didn't care. I just wanted to do my own thing and get better for myself. And I was. And he was just there as a friend until we met each other, and he made that change. Because he played that role for so long that in person, he then, for the first time, started talking about how I look. But prior to that, he'd never said nothing.
But when you said you started talking about how you look, in a negative way?
In a positive way.
Oh, wow.
Which is ironic, considering everything he did after. But it was to lull you into a sense of false security.
So how long did he lull you in for?
6 months.
Okay, and then what?
6 months, my birthday happened. It was 2 days before my 18th. He broke up with me. During this time, I think he'd pushed me or shoved me once. And obviously, we're young, so you have arguments. So I didn't even really think anything of it at the time. But now, retrospectively, I know that's where it started. That one time that I didn't raise it.
That one time you allowed him to push you?
That one time. And it wasn't even like I felt like something was so serious. You know, someone just shoved you with it. Just like, oh, go away, whatever. We'll talk about it later. So that happened. Then he turns around and leaves me 2 days before my 18th birthday. I'm devastated because within those 6 months, his plan, which he successfully achieved, was, oh, but I don't like that you have guy friends. Well, I won't speak to no females if you don't speak to no males. It's like, okay, I can understand. That's mutual respect. You're not being hypocritical. So I was like, I can understand that. And I don't really have a problem. And my friends that care for me, they'd understand that too. Right? So they did. And they always said that I'm here if you need me. During that time, he's telling me all these things my ex is saying. Same time, he's telling me, oh, but you look more beautiful without makeup. Oh, but I like it when you come see me and you're just comfy and casual wear. I stopped dressing up. I stopped doing my makeup. I stopped doing my hair. And he slowly encouraged those ideas with this sort of thing of saying, oh, but I prefer it when you're natural because you look beautiful. So I did become more confident in myself. But he ripped that all away right at the end, because he then used those very same things against me. So he created the problems.
And then again, found this.
And then found the solution.
So then what did he do?
So he calls me day before my birthday, before it hits 12, saying, I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin your birthday. Let me take you out. Let me do something nice and special. And so we did just that. It wasn't that he didn't know how to do these cute things at the start. He was perfect. Like, you know exactly what you want. Gifts, dates, quality time, words of affection. The only argument we ever had was about partner A at this point, which obviously makes sense. But again, it was things I just said, well, why do you keep listening to him? I'm here. I'm telling you the truth. But you're so concerned about what everyone else is saying. I've never lied to you, and I'm not giving you a reason to lie. But you're so adamant I am, which I realize is because he was lying the whole time. Takes me out for my birthday. I have a great time. We come back now. He's adamant that everybody in my house, my family, actually threw me a surprise 18th birthday party. I missed it.
Oh, wow.
Because he was adamant that I was trying to run off to go see friends. When really and truly, I was just needed to go home. And I wasn't allowed to go home. Because he created such a big fuss. I thought, it's easier if I just make you feel better. And I didn't know, because it was a surprise. So it wasn't like I could say, oh, you know, they've done this. I was just saying, oh, come home, you know, we've made your birthday dinner. My auntie's round. And I'm close with family. So for things like that, it would have been, yeah, cool, I'm coming home. Pre-planned, I'm there. Stops me from going. Keeps me with him for like 2 days. And I ended up staying. I said, fine, whatever. My friends now messaged me, because within those, like, I think it was actually a couple of days before he broke up with me, because there was a couple of days where I spoke to my friends. I contacted them. I kind of reached out, and it wasn't just the male friends he'd done this with. The male friends was, oh yeah, but they want you, or, you know, they're not really your friends, and how can you talk to males? I don't want you speaking to males, and I'm not speaking to females. With the females, it was, oh, but they're bad influences. Oh, they're hoes. What about how that affects you? And I didn't see it. I was like, my friends aren't hoes. How are you saying to me that the girl that is in a 3-year relationship is a hoe? I know her. I know everything. He turns around and twists it after that. It becomes, after this day, after my 18th, he snapped my phone in half with his bare hands, because he saw messages from them on my phone. I couldn't leave. I had to stay with him.
You were forced, you were captive.
Yeah. I was basically held hostage.
You were held hostage by your ex.
Partner B, yeah. And this was after 6 months. And it was until I kind of made up for what I'd done. You know, I had cheated on him because I'd had a normal conversation with friends, just saying I needed support and help because of my mental health. That was what the conversation was about. And it was in a group chat full of my guy friends and female friends. So it's not even like it was a one-on-one conversation or nothing like that. I genuinely reached out to a bunch of friends and said, listen, I need help. I had a great support network. He found a way to isolate me from everyone. One by one, picked them off. Starting off with male friends out. Okay, your female friends, next day go. Then it's, let me put distance between you and your family. Every single thing I had, even work. You better not speak to no males at work. To the extent of where he used to come pick me up. He'd make me stay on the phone from the entire time I left work till I got home, just to make sure somebody wasn't on the phone.
And this carried on for 3 years?
For 3 years it was like that. For the next 2 is where things changed. So after those first 6 months, you have different responses, right? So you've got the fight or flight, right? What people don't know is there's a freeze response as well. So at the start, my response was to freeze. I'm so shocked at what's happening I don't know how to respond. It's like my body shut down. Like, I know I need to leave, but you could hurt me right now. So if I leave, I'm in danger. So you think, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to listen, do whatever they say. And then slowly, because they see that, they take advantage of it. Because you're just trying to avoid confrontation. And my biggest fear in confrontation was the fact that I grew up around it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't want confrontation in my work life, my home life, nothing. I just wanted peace. I wanted to be at peace with myself. Then he turns around and locks me up in his bedroom. And he hit me for speaking to other men. You're a dirty whore. It's your fault. You're making me do this.
He locked you in his bedroom.
And then his mother didn't know, right? That he was sneaking me in there. I couldn't leave. It's not like I could go down to his mum and say anything, because he would have hit me for that too. He knew where I lived. He knew where my job was. He knew everything about me. So over time, it just got worse, because that entire time where he was being nice, it was like he was gathering evidence, intel, information, to be like, this is how her mind works. They study you. They look at every aspect of you and they find what they can pick on. He was a true narcissist.
And what was the worst thing that when you knew that it was time to go, like what was the thing that happened? Because I think you said something about drowning you.
That wasn't even the worst time, but that was one of the times. I think the violence got so bad that there was times where, he went from the freezing to the trying to run. Because one time he locked me in a cupboard as a punishment. I can't remember what I even did, right? So clearly it can't be that significant for me to deserve something like that. And I was locked in the cupboard, and until I apologized in the exact words he wanted and how he wanted me to say it, because I'm a woman, I'm a South Asian woman, I should, submit to the man. And growing up, that's what you're taught, right?
Yeah, but not getting locked in cupboards, fuck that.
But not getting locked in cupboards. But that's how it started. Because you let the small things slide. That first push.
He locked you in a cupboard.
Yeah, he locked me in a cupboard. And then after a while, I used to actually run into that same cupboard for comfort. Because it was the only... I realised when I was in there, hold on, you think this is punishment, but you're not putting hands on me.
Oh my God. And when you locked from the outside?
Yes, I'd be inside the cupboard and the door would be closed on me.
Oh my God.
So that happened, and over time it just got worse. So every time that he'd hit me, I had to wait until any bruises or any appearance of it was healed, and he'd spend those next days making up for his behaviour. So I couldn't leave until he'd done enough to make me feel good.
The man's a psychopath. He's a genuine psychopath.
I actually couldn't leave. Like, you see how Joe is? I made him watch that because I used to joke around with him and say,
when he was doing all of this?
Towards the end, yeah.
Because you were so normalised to it. You thought
I was so normalised. So I was like, so this is you?
Because you thought that what he was doing was normal.
Yeah. It was the more I watched the show that I realised this is not normal. Because he'd blocked me off from the world so much. My family are telling me it's not normal. My friends are like trying to reach out to me. They can't. He said to me after that day, you don't need social media no more. You have to prove to me because you cheated on me and gaslit me to the point where I believed I'd done something wrong.
And how did he drown you?
So when he was unwell one time, I was trying to help him. He couldn't have a shower because he was that sick. I'm looking at it like, that's your partner. Do you know what? Let's just get this out of the way. Let's get you okay. So I've helped him now and I've turned the hot water on. He said it was too hot. Now bear in mind, females generally, anyone that knows, we love our hot showers. I mean, they're great. He then turns around and I put it on his back and he must have just flipped. He was like, oh my God, it's too hot. You tried to burn me. I was like, I haven't though. Like, what the hell? Like, even I'm sitting in that position. I'm like, whatever. Just shut up. Next thing I know, he flipped out And then he's ended up dunking my head under the water and holding me there. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die. I got up, got out the shower, and he was like, oh, so you're going to say sorry now? I was like, I never meant to. Like, I wasn't trying to hurt you. It wasn't on purpose. He was adamant on making me believe that I had done that to him on purpose. I wanted to hurt him, so he's justified for what he's doing to me right now.
Someone put this man on death row. He needs to be put on death row. Honestly, would you say you hate him?
No.
Do you not hate him? Do you still love him?
No, definitely not.
You don't...
I feel pity for him.
Pity? Felt good.
The best part I would say is his cousin. His family members that I'd met, that even if it was that one time they said, I don't understand why you're with him. Why are you doing so much? You know, he's telling me he's not going to marry me. Can't marry me because of his mum. Because she doesn't like me whatsoever. And all I've done for your son is try and make him better. Put him into education, try and get his A-levels, let's get you this job. I bought him his first car. And I was like, I want you in the car because I don't want you on the roads. I know you can't get it right now, and I've got the ability to get it. I'd rather do that, but it was something I'd worked for.
You bought him a car?
Yeah. It was only a blooming Corsa.
Still, you bought an abuser a car. That's mad.
And it was the manipulation to make me feel like if we do all these things, this is what's going to stop us arguing. If we finally fix these things, this isn't going to be a problem anymore. So you're the problem. You're not doing enough.
So did his family help get escape?
So, yeah, because the things they would say, one of them, and I appreciate this person so much because I probably would not be here if it wasn't for them. They helped me out throughout the entire thing.
And who is this? Like, I don't know.
His cousin.
His cousin? Boy or girl?
Female. She recognised it for what it was, and she was patient enough to sit there with me and talk me through it and take her time. I bumped into one friend while I was working, because I worked in the pharmacy at the time. She's come to pick her prescription up, and I've seen her for the first time after like 3 years. The first friend I've seen in 3 years. And we both just cried then and there, and she kept in contact with me, and I learned how to just find a way to speak to them, just here and there, just so I knew that everything was okay. She talked to me all the time, and she didn't need to. She had her own life. She has her own things going on. She took time out of her life because she was like, what my cousin is doing is not right. My other friend did the same thing. And without both of them, I wouldn't be here, because there was times where he'd strangled me to the point where I couldn't breathe. He actually ran over my toe one time.
With a car?
Yeah, with a car tire.
He ran over your toe with the car?
He ran over my foot, yeah.
That's not a man. That's wrong.
Ripped my clothes, bashed, beat me.
So with the help of his cousin?
Yeah.
How did you maintain this? How did you get away from him completely?
So she told me it's the little things. And I think she understood the biggest part people don't realise. And I even have friends at work that told me the same thing. And those friends that I only got towards the later work stages. Because prior to that, I was so secluded. I didn't know how to talk to people. It was new to me. So I was so shy. Even at work, I didn't talk to you about my real life, nothing. I would just talk to you about work, got the work done, leave. I had nothing outside of him. So he was all I became accustomed to, because he didn't allow me to have any interaction with anybody else. Yes, there is that fear. Okay, if you allow somebody to go do something, something might go wrong. But really and truly, is that even something you want to be in? Because if you're sitting there questioning what someone's doing 24/7, you clearly don't trust them enough.
And if you don't trust somebody, you shouldn't be with them.
No. That's the thing. So I had gotten so deep into the relationship that finances had become merged. Now, 2020 came round. We had COVID happen. I'd bought him the car so he could start getting around. A month later, he crashes it. He gets the money back because the person crashed into him, right? Because the car wasn't worth a lot anyway. He went and gambled it all away behind my back. I didn't find out till like 3 years later, by the way.
How much money was it?
It's like the car that I'd bought at the time was like 1,000 something.
Oh, okay, a bag.
So it was like but I was 17 at the time.
A bag's a lot for a 17-year-old.
Right. So I was so angry at him, but I was just happy he was safe. And that's all I cared about. I was like, it's fine, the car's gone, but you're safe, right? We can look into getting another one now. It's fine. Now you can go get a proper one out. That was the way I kind of looked at it, like it was my responsibility to cheer him up. Little did I know, he could have been fine and just chose not to, knowing that I would work, that I have this willingness to help. And it makes no sense, because if you had helped me and I'd helped you, we'd be through the roof by now, you know, if you just worked with me. But when you're fighting somebody that you're in a relationship with, and I realized it's because he couldn't handle the fact that I wanted him to be better than who he was. He would have rather have been comfortable with staying at what level he was at. I pushed him, and I shouldn't have done that, because I will never push a man to become a man. You either are one when you come to me, or you work on yourself. I can't create you into nothing.
Period, girl.
Shut up.
Jeez.
So he's turned around and been hitting me, doing all of these things. Now the finances, when they're merged into it, it meant that I didn't have freedom financially, to the point where there was a point, actually, he had my banking apps on his phone, so he could see my transactions and see where I go and what I was doing. And then when I did it back to him, I was toxic.
So
I was the problem.
So how did you finish it? How did you khalas it?
How did I end it?
Yeah.
It's actually quite funny.
Go on.
That same cousin was getting married. They were adamant it was my fault for whatever was going on, right? And it just kept being brought up to me. And I was like, yes, I'm friends with her, but I haven't done it. Like, I haven't done anything. I don't understand why I am being pinned at fault for anything. I'm not even involved. And he called me in the morning. And bear in mind, I said to you, his mother didn't like me. So she encouraged his behaviour, which is why I'll never go with a mummy's boy.
Ooh.
Right? Because they'll allow more certain things because they're not willing to see the bad in their son. They romanticize their son because they don't have someone else. So it's not necessarily their fault.
I don't think that's a mummy's boy. I think that's just a shit human being and a shit mum, personally. Two shit human beings. One shit human
100
being giving birth to another shit human being. I don't think that's anything to do with mummy's boys. Because if anything,
No.
a mummy's boy should know better.
There's a difference between a mummy's boy, though.
Probably.
Someone who loves their mum, great, we love that. Someone who's a mummy's boy cannot handle doing things without their mum. They have to consult their mum for everything. It's their whatever that mum says goes. If you're wrong, but my mum has said something, be quiet.
I'm a
Don't
mummy's
say
boy.
anything.
I'm a mummy's boy in terms of I love my mum, but me and my mum don't agree on everything.
Exactly, and that's normal. You can love your parents without always agreeing with them or just doing as you're told.
Because a lot of girls think brown boys are all mummy's boys, which...
Oh.
What?
Well, a lot of them are.
Really? Because I don't know. I don't really chat to brown men, so I don't know. But yeah.
But even I've got guy friends. I'm like, you're such a mummy's boy, but they're not it in a way where it's toxic. But I've seen it where it's toxic. So many of my friends have turned around and had this conversation with me. They was with this Asian man. He was a mummy's boy, and that was my first sign to run. But mummy's boy, not that you love your mother, just that you can't do anything without her say so, or you have to consult for opinion. So he called me in the morning, shouting down my phone, screaming at me as he usually did. I'd had enough, because by this point he'd put me through gambling addiction, weed addiction, lean addiction. It was in the middle of COVID, so he was already self-isolating, so I stopped seeing my family as much as well, and that was my safety zone. So now I've got nothing. I didn't want to be here. I'd gone back to how I felt before, that I'd worked so hard to come out of, all because he made me feel like absolute shit. So now I said enough. You are convincing me that I'm ugly. You're telling me these things. I don't need to believe your truth. Your truth and my truth can coexist at the same time. then blocked him off everything. After 5 years, I broke up with him the day before our 5-year anniversary, just because of that. Not the hitting, not everything else. Because he was just shouting at me down the phone, and I had enough, and I blocked him off everything.
But it wasn't.
Don't want to do that.
It wasn't obviously because.
But that's the thing.
There was a build up.
It was a build up. Everything he done, I was left, and I'm still in 30k debt because of him. Messed up my credit score because he like forced me to get gambling loans out. We was actually in the middle of a casino, and he forced me to get a loan out one time so that he could gamble. And I was told if I don't do it, he's either going to hit me, break my stuff, or do something worse. Or there was times he'd actually, I think this was the most biggest fear, he knew where my sister was. He knew my sister means everything to me. And he said something one time, right, when he was angry, and it never left my head. I don't think he's capable of it, but he was like, oh, I'd get your sister.
Whoa! That's.
But that was the level of fear he instilled in me. He told me one time he could chop up my body parts and bury me in the back garden and nobody would ever find me. Who thinks of these things? So even hearing it, you're going to look at it and think, I don't even want to mess with this person. I genuinely don't even want to take that chance.
That's not even a person. That's an animal. That's like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, Joe from You mixed in one like concoction and then just put into your life. Fucking hell. Does it feel liberating now that you're free?
You know, the funniest part is that day when all of that happened, I thought I was free. I wasn't.
Why?
He started harassing me and stalking me. One day I come back from work about a month later. I think it was like 3 weeks actually. He was standing at the train station that I come out of when I finish work.
You must have shitted it.
I was terrified.
Oh man. I'd be so scared.
He used to pull up outside my house. I used to have to disconnect the house phone.
Oh my God.
He would call my mum. I had to prove I was with my own mother. In my own house. I couldn't go to the corner shop at the bottom of my roads without him being on the phone. And then there was a point where it became, oh, I'm going to cheat on you and make you think it's all your fault because you have no one else, because no one else is ever going to want you, because you're ugly, you're this, you're that. And you believe it because that's the only source of information you're constantly receiving. It's not that because they said it one time. It's not even because of that. It's because it's the only thing you're hearing.
Oh my God.
So no matter what anyone else said, that was just like white noise to me. All I could hear was the crap he would tell me over and over again, making me feel less than. And because I'd gotten sick, what people don't realize is abusive relationships affect you physically too.
Yeah.
It can create inflammation disorders, which I did get one. I have, well, they're still trying to figure out what it is. They just know it's inflammation. But I lost weight. I was 43 kilograms. So basically when you looked at me, you could see my collarbone and my ribs without me trying to suck anything in or nothing. It was just there. I'm already tiny as it is. So being that weight, I was severely underweight. I was in and out of hospital all the time.
Because of this abusive relationship?
And I could never go when I was hurt because that would mean I can report it. Even the time that we got into an incident with the police where I felt like I should have said something then. I could have told the police then.
Have you not told any authorities about this?
No, they don't know.
Why? Why do you think?
And that's where it's interesting, and looking at it now, it's because, one, growing up in the area I grew up in, you don't talk to feds.
Snitches get stitches, that's what you get told.
You don't talk to feds.
Yeah, but about this though.
But this is different.
Exactly.
And it's so hard for you to understand in your head when that same person's feeding you that same narrative. But we don't talk to feds.
So what if about a girl right now who's going through what you're going through, or what you've been through?
Do it. What
advice would you have for a girl who's going through what you went through?
Get that restraining order.
Say it right there. Tell them it's in there.
Call them. Call the police. Call 101 if you're not ready to report it and go through with it. Even just calling 101 means that people know what's happened and it's documented. because I didn't do that. I wish I did, because it saves other people from going through it. I found out after that he'd actually done it to somebody else already. I found out this was before. When the police incident happened, I said no comment. I didn't say anything. I just wanted to get out of the situation. Thinking he'd do the same. A few weeks later, because I used to help him with all of his paperwork, I saw in that he had spoken to the feds, apparently. It had said something about saying, yes, I am okay with being referred to domestic violence support agencies. So basically made it out as if I was the one abusing him.
Oh my God.
Now, there was reactive abuse. Now, that's when somebody has been hitting you for so long or hurting you for so long, you do the same back. You are fight mode, finally. You've done the freeze.
Did you do that?
You've done the flight. You've done the fight.
Did you at least get to bang him one time?
Oh, several times.
Yes. I think everybody watching this is going to be like, yes, he deserved it. And rightfully, because obviously hitting people is bad, but when someone's...
It was so bad.
But when someone's done this
I hated who he made me become.
100% I get you.
But it felt like I was fighting for my life 24/7. I was walking on eggshells. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My hair was falling out. I couldn't eat. I wouldn't sleep properly. Nothing. My life, I would work so hard to make money, and it's taken all away from me, and I had no choice. And it was either I endure this or there's a risk of you doing something to the people at home. I don't want to drag my family into it. I was the stupid one that got myself into this decision. I have to get myself out. It's embarrassing. You feel guilty. You feel like you've brought shame.
Is everything all right now? Is things all right? Gone better?
In what sense?
Just with the psychopathic ex.
So, ironically, I think there's a part of me that will never be okay.
But with him though, is he because he cut down on the stalking now?
So 3 months later, I kind of told him that I slept with someone just to get him to leave me alone. I never really did.
And you haven't heard from him since?
No. I was getting fake accounts that I realised were him. I had phone calls. Like, I had to teach him and make it seem like it was his idea to leave me. Like, this is for the good of him. So even after that time where we left, I spoke to him as a friend. I said, it will never be like that. I'm never going to come see you. Because I knew that if I went to physically see him, but now I had the power and control because he was scared I was actually going to leave. What he didn't realise is I'd already left in my head 2 years before that. This was all me just trying to find a safe way out.
And now, do you feel better now?
So much better. I'm genuinely myself again. I've started to finally achieve the things I wanted to achieve. For example, I wanted to travel. I knew I could never travel with him because I'd have to fly him out, which I did. And even then, he hit me abroad. It's like there was nothing I could do that was right. Nothing. I was going to be your worst enemy no matter what. Because by the end of it, after I'd hit him back on all those times, he'd recorded those things. So he'd hit me first, he'd get me mad, get me worked up, then only record the part where I finally reacted. So now to everyone around him, I look like the crazy person. I'm the psycho. I'm the one that everybody should be, afraid of. She's the one that's calling me 100 times. I'm calling you 100 times because you just had an argument with me and then told me some crazy thing about how, you're going to go and cheat on me or you're going to go and do this. And you just leave your phone on the side because of a small argument we've had. And it's not even that he would go do the cheating thing, which he did. But in that situation, it was like, you're all I have. Because now I'm addicted to the highs and lows of this relationship. Because as much as you did bad things, the good things you did were all fake. It was just to make me want to continue to be nice.
Do you think leaving him was more harder in your head than it was in reality? Do you think you'd built it up to be such a big thing?
No. When I left him, he told me, if I can't have you, I'm going to unalive you and then myself so no one else can have you.
My man's moving like this is a Bollywood movie. This is a bit mad. Bro.
But because he'd also almost killed me a couple times, genuinely, I believed it. He strangled me a few times in situations like that, or where he'd hit me. I could feel that, you know, all gone after me with a knife or things like that. Genuinely, I felt like I wasn't going to be here, or drowning me. To this day, the only reason I can wash my hair is because of all of my girls. They have helped me wash my hair when I couldn't wash it. They've sat on the phone to me because the fact that the water's going over my head takes me straight back to that drowning incident. And I work so hard because it's like, I need to move past it. Yes, he might be gone from my life, but I still have to fix the problems. He's forever going to be here. And not by choice. Someone that's tortured you, kidnapped you, attacked your family. And there's a part of me that thinks if he ever feels like there was a chance I'd take him back, he would try and reach out. He would try and do that. Because even when I was speaking to him to try and get him to realize, I don't want this. I want to end things nicely. And I had to make him feel like it was his idea. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it out alive.
How did you do that? What do you mean make it out?
I said to you earlier, right? 25% of women make it out. It takes a woman 7 times of leaving before she leaves. Every time I tried to leave, the hitting, the manipulation was the worst.
Yeah.
Or any time I did something that he did not approve of. So by the point I got to wanting to leave, all I had was the change I had in me when I finally clicked in my head. And everybody has that click moment. Until then, you can just be there and support your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that means that you report it. Even if that means you say to 101, this is the incident. Check Claire's law before you go and do it.
Did you call 101?
I never done it.
And I
wish I did.
But did someone else do it for you?
Nope.
So
I had to play it the safe way, the long way to get out because he knew everything about my life. I wouldn't even go to my family members' houses in fear of him getting the location of where they live.
Are you still scared of him till this day?
Ironically, I am so mouthy at times that I probably will talk back to someone so much bigger, so much like stronger. But what he did and messed with my head, the way he did what he did, I will always be more scared of him than anything anybody else could do to me.
So, in your way, the way you left this abusive ex of yours is through gradual, slow process of understanding, and just so I'm correct, just so the viewers know this as well. So, his cousin, you ended the phone, you blocked him. After a couple of times,
I went to sleep, woke up. I said, forget this, I'm going to the gym. I went to the gym. I cried for 10 minutes and I said, I'm never crying over you again. I'm going to the gym. I'm not allowing you to be the person that breaks me. And watching you helped. Watching this sort of content, people speaking on it, it shows you those viewpoints. It lets you hear things. And you finally become confident within yourself to leave. Because you can have all the support in the world. Your fear over no longer being alive because of someone else. And this is coming from someone that didn't even want to be alive. I was so terrified of losing my life to his hands.
So I understand what you're saying. So to leave, you had to get rid of the fear of being killed. So you decided that it doesn't matter.
It's fine. If I get killed, it's cool.
But I'll get killed in the process of leaving this man.
I'd rather leave and try and leave and be killed leaving.
Then stay.
Makes
sense. Now it hits the nail on the head. I get it. So it got to a point where you were like, you know what? If I'm going to leave and if I die or something happens to me in the process, cool. But I'm not staying no more. I can't handle it. And I think that must, I know this sounds a bit messed up to say this, but that's quite a liberating moment, isn't it? When you just...
You know, I had so much pain that I physically felt in my body 24/7. That day I left, I think I actually physically felt all that energy just leave my body. Even though he came back after and I had to deal with it all over again, that moment I will never forget it. I finally felt free.
Thank God. Were you scared as well though, a little bit? You must have had a bit.
I was terrified. I was still terrified.
But you were like, you know what? It's either you make it or you break it now. Is that what it was?
I spent a long time studying the person to find out a safe way to leave. Okay. Because I had that one person. For me, I had my family. It's not like my family were not supportive. That's the thing. And it's that fear of, I knew that if my family found out what was happening to me, could their hearts take it? What if they're in danger now? What if I say something and then they call the police and then he does something? He does something even more crazy. Because at that point, he's not going to care. Repeatedly, he told me, get a restraining order on me. I don't care. I'm still coming. To actively be told that by someone with such conviction and vim, you're going to know that this person is not lying. They're going to come.
So you used, rather than using war and the sword, as we say metaphorically, you used the cousin in a way as well.
I used a cousin and my friend and the small moments I had with my family to focus on the good things that I did have. And I would cry about the same thing over and over again. I know I'm in a tunnel. I just want to get to the end, but I can't see the light. I can't see it. I genuinely think I'm leaving this situation dead. From someone that's tried to run me over. He probably, if he had access to it, would turn around and probably stab me or shoot me if he could. And knowing that, it made me so terrified that, forget me, you know too much about the people I care about.
And when you told his cousin the sort of things he was doing, did she confront him?
She never confronted him directly because of family politics, which I completely got. But she cut off contact. Her opinion changed completely. She supported me in the best way she could, which was to tell me how to leave, how to get out. She used her personal experience to get me to where I am. My friend used her personal experience to get me to where I am. And that's the reason I said it, that I'm going to do this. Because even if my story helps one woman get out, that's one more life. One more life that's saved. And the worst part is, it's not even just women. I've heard my male friends that have been through this. Yes, it's more likely to happen to women. But at the same time, people just don't believe it. They don't believe the fear that can be put into you to no longer be alive. So I left him. He stalked me, harassed me. And then one day I woke up and I told him I slept with someone else. I'm done. It's dusted. I'm back into contact with my old friends, which I had been, but I just didn't say anything. After that, I still had fake accounts looking at me, so I didn't post on social media. To this day, I don't think I actually post where I am while I'm actively there on any open social media. I never will.
Okay.
Because there's part of me that will constantly feel like that. There's a part of me that sometimes when I leave my house, I think, could he have driven past? Could he have gone there?
But when you say you did it in the right way, how can you even do it in the right way with someone so wrong? Like, what does that even mean?
The right way for me to be able to leave safely.
And what is that?
Alive. In that situation, the best you can hope for is to be alive.
But then if someone's constantly harassing you, constantly stalking you, how do you make that person stop?
There's two ways.
Okay.
Restraining order.
Okay, which you didn't do.
Which I didn't do.
Okay.
I spent those 2 years sort of analysing him, figuring out what he would genuinely despise me for.
And not want to talk to you again for.
And not want to talk to me again for. And so I mirrored all of his behaviours back to him. I showed him who he was. And like I said, when I was watching you, I realised this. When they realise they're not doing good, in that moment, I'd say, that's you. And I noticed it. But to me, it was still my normal. To this day, I'll say certain things and my friends will be like, babe, you know that's not normal. And I'm sitting there and I'm feeling like, that's just my reality. That's my truth.
Everybody's got their own reality.
It's about how you can overcome it. And that's never going to happen overnight. That's something you're going to deal with and battle with every day, because there's always going to be something new. And there's going to be good days and bad days. And the bad days might be some of the worst you've experienced.
Do you think when you told him that you slept with someone else, that was the ding, that really got him worked up, and then when he was like, okay, I can't. It must have been, no?
I think it's because of who he assumed it to be.
Okay.
Who he assumed it to be, how do I phrase this, would have been a general manager. So, you know, he was bigger than him. So I think it was that fear aspect for himself, because it's quick for him to put hands on me. But can you really do the same to another man at the same extent that you don't know, that isn't friends with you, that isn't going to let things slide?
So he thought that you had back up. So now...
Because now I had finally... Even my guy friends, that's why he never wanted me to have my guy friends.
So now you've got your close circle. Oh, now I understand. So now you've got your close friends. You've got this scenario made up with this general manager. You've got a support system. And he was scared of your support system because you're not alone anymore.
I'm not alone. He hasn't isolated me. I've taken myself out of isolation. He hated the fact that I started to slowly have conversations with work colleagues. Because how can you say to me, it's a female 50-year-old auntie, that's a work colleague. How are you saying no to me to going to dinner with her? It wouldn't even make sense. You can't even accuse me of cheating on you with a 50-year-old Asian auntie. We're going to dinner. You're going to allow me to do that. They can see, everyone that I worked with that was a female that knew me and was close to me could see what was wrong. And every single one of them would watch me deteriorate into full-on panic attacks, crying, the self-harm being the worst. They saw all of it. And they sat there telling me over and over again, you need to leave. We're here for you. We're here for you. So I had to plan it to make a way out safe. I know people that have ended up in comas and stuff because of it. So I knew how very much real the threat was.
And you understood also that, for example, when I do content and I'm out in public screaming, I understand that there could be a possibility that one day someone could come up to me and cause an interaction, an altercation. You understood that there were risks and consequences.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for being on the pod. I think your story's inspirational, and I think this is very brave what you've done. And if anything, I think you've inspired a lot of young women, especially brown girls as well, who are going through what they're going through right now and probably are a bit ashamed of speaking about what these situations are like, which I don't think personally should be a taboo at all, stigmatized, because this is real stuff. I don't think anybody, regardless of like if you like somebody or you don't like somebody, because everybody's got an opinion. I might like you, you might not like me. But putting your hands onto an individual, that's one thing. That's unacceptable. But then torturing someone the way you were treated, I think that's totally unacceptable. Regardless of if you like them, if they've cheated on you. Like, there's one thing verbally abusing people, and there's one thing taking it to a next level. And especially with you, they didn't just verbally abuse you. I think
I was his puppet.
Yeah.
And I had to do what he said when he said. And if it wasn't in the way he wanted it, there was consequences. But my biggest thing is, out of everything, me making it out alive has to mean something. There are so many women and men that don't make it out.
And you have.
So knowing that even if one person can make it out alive, or reach out or have that conversation to get that support system in place, to put the right things into place so you can get safe, even if that means you have to relocate, because I know people that had to relocate to a different country.
If you got
and
to.
Even myself, I've realized I don't think a part of me will ever truly feel peace knowing that they're so close by that they could actually just come whenever they like, that they know where I live. You genuinely have to change your whole life and sacrifice everything, but it's up to you whether you're ready to do that. Until then, you just have to find your support system.
Wow, it was lovely having you on this podcast. And I know for a fact, a lot of people are going to be inspired by you. And big you up, man. You're a survivor. So big you up, Nikki. Jeez, you're here. Hype Talks with Hazzy. You know, it is that guy, the one that you like, Hazzy's Hype. Another episode of Hype Talks with Hazzy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you give her a follow too. All the links are going to be in the bio. And yeah, man, this was a Survivors episode. We have a survivor here. And yeah, make sure you tune in next week for another episode with inspiring conversations. Yeah, done now. Let's go.